The Arab Spring. Everybody's heard of the Arab Spring in Egypt, and this mass wave of protest and anti-government corruption. The people against anti-corruption in government. We've all heard of the Arab Spring. It's not only it wasn't only in Egypt. It far extended its influence all over Algeria, Morocco, the Maghreb countries. They've had revolutions of a similar kind of popular protest movements, and I always wondered, why was there always a lack of popular protest movements in sub-Saharan Africa? Why is there not a lot of protest in black African countries below the Sahara? And why has there never been anything in a mass scale like the Arab Spring in sub-Saharan Africa, when they have so much corruption and they have so much government, you know, inefficiency and lots of money laundering, lots of hiding money in foreign banks and all kinds of crap. How come there hasn't been an African Spring? I wonder. The only country that I can think of that ever had any sort of mass protest movement was South Africa, and that was against a non-black government. So black people will get together over white people, but they won't get together over their own corrupt government officials, their own tribes and things like that, who are robbing them blind. And it says a lot to it says a lot about African mentality, and it's a testament to the kind of African good old boys club. You know, we have good old boys club in America. It's kind of an expression for people who live in the country and who keep jobs within themselves, who live in maybe these rural areas, and they keep jobs within their own circle of friends or their circle of family. And the good old boys club in Africa is a tribal one, and people will vote for their tribes, and they'll try to keep it in within the tribe, you know. And another thing, that's another thing that nobody really questions that much. And another thing people don't question. People don't question authority enough in sub-Saharan African countries. In order for there to be massive protest movements, people are going to have to come against all those quote-unquote educated people, the educated 1%, the super educated, super wealthy government people who run everything. You're going to have to be questioning of them. And I think Africans are just really they're really accepting of authority. Like they are very unquestioning of authority. They respect authority a lot, which is a good thing, because I guess it's a cultural trait. Like, they're taught to respect elders. They're taught to respect people who have a certain position that's higher than them. But I think they got to understand that not everybody that has a university degree or has this cabinet position is necessarily a good person. There's not somebody that they should respect, you know. That's somebody that they should speak out against. But then, I guess, on the other side of it, people are afraid to talk about others because I don't know. I guess it's more of a cutthroat type of environment. If you speak out against somebody could hurt you. You know, if you want to criticize politicians and things. But I guess in order for things to change, I guess people have to not be afraid to be hurt. You know. But I don't know. I was just a little bit, my rambling is about what I think, or I could be completely wrong. This might not be right, but I wish I could see, and maybe I wonder if there will ever be an African Spring, a mass protest against the corruption that goes on in some of these sub-Saharan African countries, such as Nigeria. which is a very wealthy country, right? On the paper, it's wealthy. By GDP, it's like about $400 billion is worth the gross domestic product. Mostly this comes from raw minerals, from oil, from the resources. But why isn't the money that they're getting for oil being spent on the people, spent on the infrastructure of the country? So that's something that tells you that there's massive corruption for a country to be so oil wealthy and to have such little in terms of the infrastructure of the nation. Lagos should be like, it should look like Tokyo if the money was getting spent right. Lagos is a big booming city, right? Chaotic, very chaotic, little organization, crumbling infrastructure, and it should be a first class modern city. If the money from the oil, some of the oil reserves are just right off the coast.